Well, with the economic uncertainty that the world is facing right now, it's critical to achieve financial freedom. But how do you actually do that? It's easier said than done. David Phelps is standing by for more on this. David, it's lovely to have your company. Thank you for joining us on Ticker today.
Absolutely, Holly. Glad to be here.
David, why is financial freedom so important right now? And what even is financial freedom?
Well, financial freedom, I believe, Holly, is separating our time for the income. We tend to go to work, to go to school, to get a career, a job, a business, and we trade our time for dollars. That's very, very customary. This last year, we had the COVID-19 pandemic, which we are still dealing with. It was a black swan event, and we found literally everybody jobless. Businesses couldn't open. People couldn't receive their income. And so the realization, I think, came very much to the forefront that the dependence upon our ability to go to work to create income, while that's what we're taught to do and how society rewards us, not having other income streams is very, 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 very fragile. It leaves us very, very vulnerable position.
I mean, financial freedom sounds lovely to many, but it's actually easier said than done. And you mentioned there about the COVID-19 pandemic. What does a post-COVID economy actually look like? What do we need to be doing differently in regards to our financial means and our cash that we're earning?
Well, post-COVID has certainly been a wake-up call, I think, to most people. What we found is that we have to be much more flexible, more adaptable. We have, I think, a more volatile and disruptive economy for the future. And so we can't become complacent. We can't go by the old models, the standards that we grew up with, which were be conservative, to work hard, to save, put money aside. That's just not going to work anymore. Having multiple lines of income, multiple streams of income based on assets, ownership of assets is what I found to be the basis to start. And it does take work, Holly. You're right. It takes some work. It takes some intention. But it goes to those who are not wanting to live an average life to have to take those steps to set up those income streams so that they are not vulnerable to shutdowns or economic volatility.
Do you think we're taught about finances enough in school? Because I know I wasn't taught about finances in school. I was taught about a lot of things that I haven't even used before. Do we need to start incorporating this into our school curriculums? How to do tax, how to save properly, how to invest, all that kind of stuff?
Well, Holly, you're right. It's grossly lacking from our school, public school education, the ability to understand finance and understand compound interest, to understand debt. Good debt, bad debt, understand how we actually build wealth versus just save it, which has been the old model. I think that it would be great if schools would incorporate that. I don't know that they will. So I think it's up to us as a society, up to us as parents, to other mentors and people outside the public school system to help those generations that are graduating now with great amounts of debt and, in many respects, not great job prospects. Because, as you said, that's what we were taught to do. We were taught to learn a skill, a trade, profession, that would be our safety net. That would be our security. That's not so anymore. We're in a very disruptive economy, and I think that's what we have to be able to do, is to be able to pivot, to have other transferable skill sets beyond a specialized skill set that allow us to adapt, to be flexible, to pivot when we have to pivot.
Absolutely. David Phelps, lovely to chat with you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Holly.